Let's talk about one of the biggest money mistakes entrepreneurs make: commingling funds. What does that mean? Mixing your business and personal transactions together. You see, swiping the same debit card for your groceries and business supplies is a red flag. Paying for your Netflix bill from your business account is a red flag. Getting Cash App payments from a client and forgetting to log it is a red flag. It might feel small right now, but when it comes time to do your taxes, that one habit can cost you hundreds, possibly even thousands. So today we're going to talk about why mixing finances is dangerous, how it affects your bookkeeping, your taxes, and even your legal protection. Welcome back to another episode of Millennial Gems. I'm your host, Aquila, and today it's about don't mix business and personal together. So, why is mixing finances so dangerous? It's simple, because you blur the line between you and your business. Now, there are three things that can come about when you do this. First thing is bookkeeping, right? Your bookkeeping becomes chaotic because now you can't tell which expenses belong where. And so then you have to go through and categorize which ones are personal expenses and which ones are business expenses. And so when tax time comes, you'll have to spend hours or days trying to separate it. The next thing that can happen is you risk losing out on deductions. If you can't prove that an expense was for business, the IRS is not going to let you deduct it. And lastly, like I mentioned earlier, you're going to lose protection. Say you have an LLC, but your finances are mixed. The IRS is going to say, nope, you and the business are the same. And that's called piercing the corporate veil, because you haven't created separation between you and your business transactions. And you don't want that. You don't want the IRS to come auditing you because you made a silly mistake of not separating your transactions. So the bottom line is mixing your account will kill your credibility, your chances at deductions, and definitely threaten your legal protection. Now let's look at this from the IRS perspective, right? So from the IRS POV, clean records equal trust. With everything flowing through one business account, it's easy to verify. But as soon as they see some random personal charges in your business statements, what have I been saying? That's a red flag. And to them, that's going to scream poor record keeping. And do you know what the number one cause of all small business audits are? Inconsistent record keeping, sloppy bookkeeping, mixing and commingling funds. Don't do it. Even if you're not doing anything wrong, you could end up paying penalties just because your accounts look atrocious. So, how do you fix this problem, right? Well, it's very simple. Open a dedicated business bank account. Even if you're a sole prop, you can still have one. Just make sure you're using it only for business income and expenses. The next thing you can do is get when you open that business bank account, you're probably most likely going to get a business debit card, but you can also get some business credit cards as well, some funding. Every business purchase should go on this card. No exceptions. No exceptions. Do not put any groceries, Netflix bills, streaming bills, any personal expenses you need. Do not swipe your business card for that. Keep it all business. And kind of leading into my next point, keep all your personal bills personal. Everything. I'm telling you, don't give the IRS a reason to come and audit you. Don't give them a reason to come and look into you. It's very simple. Do not swipe personal for business, and do not swipe business for personal. And then one other thing is to make sure to track all your owner's draws or payments. What I mean by owner's draws, that's simply just the money you either take out from your business or you invest into your business. So if you need to pay yourself, especially if you're like a LLC, you're being taxed as an LLC and you're not making like over like 50K yet to where you need to be taxed as like an S corp, then no, all you need to do is just to pay yourself by just transferring from money from your business account to your personal account, and then just label it clearly. This is going to make your bookkeeping so much easier. And if the IRS ever audits you, you can show clear and professional records. All right, so what are some tools that will make it easy, right? Well, here are a few tools I recommend you do to keep things separate and organized. So the first thing is, we mentioned having a business bank account, right? You can go to banks like Relay, Novo. These are online bank accounts. Like, they don't have physical locations because they believe they're what's called fintech companies. But they're great online banking solutions. I currently use Novo, so I'll leave the link to my referral link down in the show notes. But it has a great user interface. I've never used Relay, but like I said, I use Novo right now for my business bank account. So, and these are free business bank accounts. Like, there are no fees associated with any of them. So definitely get a business bank account. Like I said, Relay or Novo. I'll drop it down in the show notes. Let's be real. Tax season doesn't start in January. It starts when you get serious about your money. At Millennial Gems Financial Solutions, we help self-employed hustlers, entrepreneurs, business owners stay ready year round. Whether it's clean bookkeeping, tax prep, or setting up systems so you can finally understand your numbers, our goal is simple: provide clarity, protect your peace of mind, and help you keep more of what you make. You've worked too hard to give Uncle Sam more than you owe. So let's fix that. Visit millennialgemsbk.com to book your consultation today. QuickBooks, that's currently what I use for my bookkeeping. So that's a great way to track all expense tracking. All you have to do is just pair your credit cards and your bank, link them all together, sync them together, and every transaction that comes in and out of those accounts will be automatically tracked. Let's see. You have things like, you can try to find yourself like a way to accept payments. I use Acuity for scheduling, um, but I mean, Acuity does accept like payments too, but some people mostly might use like things like Square or Stripe or some other payment processor, PayPal, Venmo. They might use something like that to collect payments. So definitely make sure you set up like a payment processor tool. And then lastly, you can do something to help, with like contracts and invoices. I once used um, PandaDoc, and that's great for uploading like contracts and having getting contracts signed. Also for sending out invoices, but also Novo, they can create invoices as well. But you could also use like a CRM, like Honeybook, Monday. These CRMs, they kind of like all in one. They have all of this stuff like contracts, invoices, scheduling, accepting client payments. They have all of that set up in a CRM, so you can even go that route. The goal is to simply is just to automate as much as possible so your finances stay clean without having to put in extra effort. Now, it wouldn't be Millennial Gems if we didn't get into some mindset stuff, right? So, some excuses some people may make is I'm not making enough to need a business bank account yet. Doesn't matter. If you're making money outside of your job on your own merit, you need to have an account somewhere to filter that money. Especially if you're going to be accepting like credit card payments and stuff like that. You don't want to play yourself. You need someone to stick that money. You don't want to have maybe making business transactions and putting it into your filtering it into your in your business into your personal account. Sorry, you don't want to do that. It's just a side hustle. Yeah, so if it's just a side hustle, you still need somewhere to park that money, any money you make, whether you're doing Uber, Lyft. Um, I mean, I guess yeah, you can. You probably don't exactly need like a business bank account for that, but you know, I still like to keep my money separate. Things like Uber and Lyft, I don't mind having that filter in to my personal account because it's just like it's yes, it's like a side hustle and you could look at it like a business to write it off. I mean, especially if you want to write off like heavy expenses and stuff like that, then you'll definitely want to kind of turn it into like a business. That way you can take business deductions. But some people probably just do it as like their day job, which in that case, then you don't need to necessarily have a business bank account. But you kind of go about it as you see work. But if you're going to turn it into a business, make sure you get a business bank account. I'll clean it up later. Clean it up later. Like if you're talking about like your record keeping, your bookkeeping, right? You don't want to do that. I do bookkeeping and I make sure I'm checking every single week my transactions, anything that needs to be categorized. I do reconciling once a month to make sure everything is up to date. And so like cleanups, I don't know if y'all know, I haven't done a cleanup yet, but I've heard about like how people, they leave their books so messy for so long and then they have to do like yearly cleanups or like going back like 2 years to clean up their books. And I'm like, it's a really expensive job. It becomes an expensive job if you don't keep up with it. So my suggestion is, as soon as you get transactions every week, just categorize them. This is if you're doing your own bookkeeping. Otherwise, if you're outsourcing, otherwise your bookkeeper is going to probably keep up with this. But simple fact is, if you plan to grow, you want to start like a business now. You gotta think, move like a business owner. The habits you build when you're small are the ones that will protect you when you scale. You need to treat your business like a business. And if you do that, it'll pay you like one. Say it again. You treat your business like a business, and it will surely pay you like one. So now let's talk long term, right? When your business finances are clean, you'll always know what exactly you earned. You can clearly see where your money's going. You can finally apply for like funding, seek out partnerships and investors. And when tax season comes, I believe I mentioned this on the last episode, it becomes a review rather than a rescue mission. You keep everything in order, keep everything organized. Everything is going to be a breeze. So the point I just want to drive home is just make sure you're keeping your business and personal transactions separate, because it isn't just about taxes, it's about control, and it's about building real wealth with clarity. So now you're probably thinking, okay, I need to get my business bank accounts together like yesterday. Well, yeah, you're right. It's time to stop stressing and time to get help. And you know what? You can schedule a free consultation with my company, Millennial Gems Financial Solutions, and we can help clean up your books. We can set up your business bank accounts, and we can get you organized before tax season hits. Because we're currently in pre-season of tax season. And while you're there on my website, you can grab our A to Z deductions checklist, deductions playbook, and then also grab our tax preparation checklist. And they're all for free. Both of them are for free. So feel free to purchase either one of them. All right. So that does it for another episode of Millennial Gems. Until then, clarity is power and separation is freedom. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.